I am Siva Kumar, Assistant Professor of Mathematics. Welcome to the channel Siva Mathematics. Today we are going to discuss how to describe a function is said to be continuous at a point for functions of two variables. If we consider a function of single variable y is equals to f of x, that represents a curve, a plane curve. If we consider a function of two variables z equal to f of x comma y, that represents a surface. In general, that represents surface. Here depends on the context. Sometimes a function of single variable may represents linear density. Sometimes a functions of two variables represent heat. So in general, a function of single variables represents a plane curve. A function of two variables represents a surface. Here, if you observe, here we are having one independent variable, one dependent variable. To find out limit of function of single variable, if we find left hand side limit, right hand side limit, that is sufficient. If you get both are equal, then we say limit exists. And also equal to function value, then we say function is said to be continuous at a. That is already we have discussed how to find the limit of function of single variable and when a function is said to be continuous at a point. But coming to the functions of two variables, we have already discussed method of obtaining limit for functions of two variables in previous lecture. Now we discuss when a function is said to be continuous at a point. Continuity of functions of two variables. The definition is similar to the functions of single variable. Now to discuss the continuity of functions of two variables, we discuss the definition like this: limit x comma y tends to some point x naught comma y naught. For this function f of x comma y, if the limit exists and function value also exists at x naught comma y naught point, and if both are equal, then we say function is said to be continuous at this point x naught comma y naught. Here if you observe, for domain we have two variables, for range we have one variable. So three dimensions are sufficient. X axis, y axis we take like this, and z axis to represent range set of values, outputs. Now if we take a point x naught comma y naught here, and let us suppose that this function is a surface like this, z equal to f of x comma y, and if you take any arbitrary point x comma y like this, and this point you can take anywhere nearby this point. In order to understand the concept, we are taking somehow far, but that is almost near to x naught comma y naught. So this point can approach x naught comma y naught. This is the variation for functions of single variable and functions of two variables. For functions of single variable, domain is x axis, range is y axis. For functions of two variables, domain is x over y plane, range is only axis. Same concept can be extended for complex functions also, because for functions of two variables and complex functions, if we consider omega equal to f of z, which we are going to discuss in the next video, the limit is going to be same, because domain of complex function is z plane, as well as domain of functions of two variables is also z plane, x over y plane. Here the range is only one axis. Real values we are going to get here as a range set of values for functions of two variables. Whereas for complex functions we may get the outputs also complex numbers, means for output values also we need another plane. Total 4 variables are involved here. Omega we can write like u plus iv, that is equal to f of z we can write x plus iy. Anyhow, domain is same for functions of two variables as well as complex functions, the procedure of finding the limit is also going to be same. Here, evaluation of the limit, already we discussed in previous class, along all the path as x comma y tends to x naught comma y naught, along path 1, along path 2, along y equal to mx plus c, y equal to mx square plus c, we have to find out the limit. In fact, if you are finding the limit not at origin, then we can find limit along path 1 and path 2. If we get the same limit, we give the conclusion that along remaining paths, means paths joining these 2 points like a straight line or parabola or any other curve, also we are going to get the same limit. No need to evaluate the limit along remaining paths. We give the conclusion if you are finding limit not at origin. But if you are finding limit at origin, then definitely you have to find out limit along path 1, path 2, along y equal to mx, y equal to mx square, and so on, y equal to mx power n. Similarly, x equal to my, x equal to my square, x equal to my power n. If along all the paths, if we get the same limit, then only we say limit exists for this function. If we get any different value for the limit along any path, we simply write limit does not exist. Now, if limit exists and function value exists, both are equal, then we say function is said to be continuous at this point x naught comma y naught. If limit exists, function value exists, both are unequal, then function is just said to be discontinuous at this point. This is called discontinuity of first kind or removable discontinuity. If limit does not exist, that is discontinuity of second kind or jump discontinuity. First case, limit x comma y tends to x naught comma y naught, f of x comma y exists, f of x naught comma y naught exists. Both are unequal. Then we say function is discontinuous at x naught comma y naught. This is called discontinuity of first kind. Or we say removable discontinuity. If limit does not exist, then we say that is discontinuity of second kind or jump discontinuity. Limit does not exist means the graph may be like this up to here and it takes some jump. At this particular point the function takes jump, discontinuity of second kind or jump discontinuity.